All right, we are here for the 58th episode of the
Let's Go podcast. We're back, starting a little mini vacation here at the HSL as our youth leagues and our adult leagues are off. But we never take a break, and we are back with another podcast. We are thrilled to have two major pieces, each in their own way, of the now number 2 in the power rankings, Olam Realty. We have Elad and Netanel, who's going to come on and talk a little bit about Olam Realty and a little bit about life. So, Dave, take it away.
All right, so I've been hearing about this dynamic duo. Elad on Olam Realty has been lighting up the boards, and Netanel has been coming to the games, interacting with players. So, how do you two guys know each other?
This is my manager right here to the right of me.
We were cousins
What
first.
is-
We were
what
cousins
is-
first.
What did you say?
We were cousins first before I became
Oh,
his
yeah.
manager.
Until you became his manager. Thankfully, you didn't charge such a hefty fee to come onto the podcast. So, what does it mean that you're his manager, Netanel?
I just try to draw as much attention as I can to him. He has a great style of basketball that he plays. He has a great poise when he plays basketball.
Yeah, I haven't been able to make it to a game yet this season, but I've been hearing rave reviews. And how old are each of you?
I'm 21.
I'm 18.
18. And you guys grew up near each other?
Yeah, like I said before, we're building apart. So
His
Right there.
dad and my mom are siblings. We're first cousins.
First cousins, got it.
Yeah.
So Elad Navon, Netanel Kvital. What are those names? Are they Israeli? What's the origin?
We're Georgian.
yeah, my last name is Georgian. Yeah,
Oh, maybe you can hook us up. You know Marani restaurant?
It's
I
right
do.
by us,
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes away, drive.
Yeah. Oh, you live in Forest Hills?
Yeah,
Right
we live
by
in
us.
Regal Park.
Regal Park, yeah.
Oh, I live in Regal Park. Okay, I live
You know,
in
Mr.
Forest
Galib
Hills.
here is the president of the Young Israel Forest Hills.
Oh, really?
Oh, interesting. Very cool.
So we go, me and my wife love going to Marani. Avi, we should really try to get them for an HSL sponsorship. Georgian
Yeah,
food.
for sure.
Although, guys, I took Avi there once. He was very unimpressed with the Georgian cuisine. I have to
Whoa,
say.
listen. You know, if they want to sponsor us, if they
All
want to sponsor
Georgians
us, I
are
love their
disappointed
food.
with that restaurant. All Georgians are a little bit disappointed with that restaurant.
Why?
There goes the.
I think it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I've
but
probably been there like 10 times.
if you don't know real Georgian food,
It's nothing like homemade Georgian
it's nothing
food.
like
It's a good point, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a good point. These people are Georgian. They
Yeah.
need perfection when it comes to Georgian
So
food.
when are we
much.
getting when are we getting the invite to the Navons or the Kvitals?
It's a good question.
Listen, doors always open by a Georgian household, so all you gotta do is just stop by.
Sounds
It's
good.
like going to Israel and having a slice of pizza from like Big Apple Pizza and claiming that it's the best pizza in the world when you have pizza places and such as La Pizzeria that are American pizza places or even Italian pizza places. You can't compare the two.
Right. So, Netanel, what do you think about the recent controversy with the power rankings with Olam versus Link? Are you familiar with the controversy?
I am. I was the one that was
Podcast?
sort of. I may have been the one sort of stirring it up a little bit. Who knows? But listen, Wasser's a great player. He's a great player. I truly like him as a person because throughout this whole thing, he hasn't said a word. That shows that he's humble. So I don't know him personally, but I feel like I would like him if I got to know him. But listen, Elad did not have a great game, and he'll be the first to tell you that. He didn't. He played sloppy in the first quarter, had way too many turnovers.
My cousin's in the back laughing right now, my older cousin.
He didn't. He played sloppy. He was loose with the basketball, but eventually he turned it up and he got going. Wasser, on the other hand, had a good game. He did. He had a great game, but he took 40 shot attempts. And just so you know, Elad records the games, I should say, and we counted the second half. He went 4 for 16 in the second half. 4 for 16 in the second half. So, again, not to take anything away from him, he's a great player. He balled out. He tried his best. But I just think that if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Elad. And, let's just take away the fact that we're cousins
Might
for
be
a second.
some biased because he's my cousin.
No. I was about to say that. But I think he'll be the first to tell you I'm his biggest hater. I think he will agree with that. But
For sure.
if it's between the two, I would take Elad for sure.
Do you guys speak Georgian?
A little bit.
We
He knows
understand,
more
we
than me,
understand
yeah.
more than we speak, but I can speak a little bit, yeah.
Okay. The only word I know is Jaruli.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's a dish, no?
Yeah.
it's
So you're
What?
saying a
What
lot.
did I miss? Oh, it's a food?
Yeah, it's a dish, yeah.
So you're saying a lot is really in the driver's seat with Wasser and with Link, and you'd expect. So wait. So does that mean, Netanel, you thought that they should not have been dropped from the 1 seed into the 2
Not at all.
seed?
Not at all. And, Avi, I have a little bone to pick with you on that. A little bit, just a little bit.
Yes. Go ahead.
Listen, they were without their center. That's 100% true. They were without their center. They were without their
And their highest and their leading scorer. Correct.
and their leading scorer. Sure, And listen, I'm sure that affected them in some way, right? But something that I don't know if you mentioned, and I don't think you did, was that Olam was without their best defender.
We were missing
We were
Lior, yeah.
missing-
Is that defender? Would he be guarding like a Wasser type player, or would he be guarding a big man?
He would be guarding a wall.
He could guard whatever,
He could guard
honestly.
it all. He could do it all. He's not only our best defender. He's probably also, the guy that would hustle the most on this team.
Probably the most athletic, too, on our team.
I was about to say that too. Yeah. So that's a big piece that we were missing for the first 2 games. And then on top of that, I don't know if you knew this, Avi, but our center George was playing with a hurt hand for the first 2 games.
That's no excuse. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm not saying an excuse.
We
but
played sloppy to begin with. We know we should have tried harder to start, I guess.
No, but it's not an excuse. In the first 3 minutes of the game with Link, he went up for an offensive rebound. He got his hand smacked, not on purpose, obviously. It was just going for a rebound, and he winced in pain right away. So, when your main hand isn't 100%, that affects you.
Netanel, do you watch the recordings of the games?
I do. I watch the clips. I watch the highlights that Avi posts.
That Avi posts. Oh, but you said Elad records the games, right?
Yeah.
Oh
on my
yeah.
phone.
He records them. I watch that.
So
too.
who watches those?
Both of us.
The team, pretty much. We show each other some main points, I guess, to look it over. I like to see my highlights. But
Elad,
yeah,
and I hear there are a lot of them. Elad, so how long have you been playing basketball?
pretty much my whole life, for the most part, I'd say. The first time I was on a team was in 5th grade, with my big man George. Actually, we've been on the same team since 5th grade.
Where? What team were you on? Where was this?
It was just some CYO team. It was called OLA. It's not too
What's
far.
CYO? What's CYO?
Some Catholic league, some non-Jewish league. That's where I met George from.
I got a coach to him, by the way. It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. But that's where I met George. We've been with each other since. We've been playing ball with each other since then, since 5th grade. So I say our chemistry is pretty good with each other.
Yeah, that's great.
Is George Georgian also?
No, his dad's Colombian and his mom is Russian.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting mixture. So
Yeah.
5th grade, and then where did you continue to play?
We went to the same middle school in 8th grade. We were on the same team there too.
What school was that?
Junior high school, Halsey.
And that was a team in a league.
It was a public school. Yeah, it was in a league. Me and George were on the same team there. Then in high school, he went to a different high school. I went to Forest Hills High School for freshman year. I was on the team over there. And then after my freshman year, I went to Yeshiva. That's where I finished high school.
What yeshiva did you go to?
Yeshiva Lamanachai in Main Street.
Very cool. So how were you able to play basketball when you were in high school?
Well, after I left Forest Hills and I joined Lamanachai, I didn't necessarily go there to play basketball. Even though we did join some league there. It was like a Jewish league, but the competition wasn't the best. So it was pretty easy. I was scoring a lot there, but I wouldn't really say much about that. It was just for fun. It wasn't really serious basketball, I'd say.
Did you
But
play
I've always
serious
been playing,
basketball after?
always been playing for fun, like other summer leagues. I've joined other leagues with my boys too. So basketball's been around my whole life pretty much.
We have 2 parks right nearby, so it's easy. It's easy.
Which parks are there? There's that park on 63rd that you're talking about?
It's right by here, yeah.
Got it. There's also some basketball by Yellowstone Park. I don't know if you guys ever play there.
I've been there before, yeah.
I don't think.
I don't know about the level of competition, how good it is. So Netanel. Oh wait, and Elad, you're 21. What do you do with your days? How do you spend your days?
I work now. I go to like older people's houses. I do some medical testing for them. Check their eyes, their ears, their teeth. Ask them
I was wondering that was. I saw you in the blue robe over there on, I think it was on Instagram or
on my
WhatsApp status or
scrubs.
something.
Scrubs, yeah,
Yeah, your scrubs.
yeah.
That's it. Very cool.
Netanel, so you're 18. How do you spend your days?
During the week, I do trading. I started doing that recently.
He's a smart kid. This guy over here.
What does training mean? I don't know what that means.
Trading.
Trading.
Futures.
Oh,
futures,
you do
yeah.
trading. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Put all your money into Tesla options, right?
You gotta buy it when it's low. Now's not the time.
Now's not the time. So you've been trading during the days. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then
Do you have it? Go ahead.
on the weekends, I'm usually with this guy over here. We go to Chabad Rabbi nearby,
Which
and
Chabad
we
is
try
that?
to keep busy. Rigo Park, Rabbi Yaakov Harvitz.
Very nice. So you go there Shabbat.
Yeah,
I go to
nice
another.
kiddushes?
Speaking of a program, I go to another program too. Netzach, you know Netzach?
Yeah, and it's a
Of
outreach, I
course.
think it's
Yes.
called,
One of my rabbis there that I learn with, I go to a program with him. I think you know him, Avi. His name is Rabbi Avi Chulpayev.
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
very,
you
very
have
well.
kids in the youth
It's funny
group, right?
when I was posting highlights of the first week. So Avi he responded to the status. He's like, I see it took you 5 months, but you finally discovered Elad, is what he responded to the status. So Elad, do you play in Chavetz Chaim in those games that one night? They have games here like one night a week. Do you play there?
Yeah, so I've been going there for like 4 or 5 years at least. So I knew Avi for a long time. I've been going to his programs. Now, like,
Very cool.
go there for fun, like just to play some basketball. We learn a little
It's
bit.
actually funny because a couple people, I never told you this, but a couple people, I've been putting all over the status, have been responding to me saying, I think that kid plays in the Chavetz Chaim gym, one night a week. I guess they see you shooting around, they're playing, and they recognize you from there. So that's where I
One guy
put two
actually
and two
asked.
together. What?
Some guy asked me in the program in Chavetz Chaim. He's like, "Are you going to be in this HSL league? I heard a lot about you and stuff." So I
That's
was
very
like,
cool. Awesome. Wait, before we move on, Dave, I need a chance to respond here to Natanel's accusations of me putting them into the two and why I was wrong. So, from my mindset, I know you guys have never seen Ari Olswing or Pacey Jacoby play. I have never seen, this guy who was missing on your team, this best defender play. I think, just like, which I agree, Elad did not have such a great game and still managed to put up 30 points. It's pretty incredible. I think Wasser also had a very poor game. I think he shot very poorly, as you noted. He managed with 30 plus points and still managed 7 assists, 6 steals. I think if Wasser picks up his game even a little bit, which maybe he won't because of the defender, but if he does, this guy also, and to put in perspective, by the way, Mazel Tov just got engaged a few days ago.
"Congrats to him."
He's probably as big, maybe even a little bigger, but definitely as big in terms of height as your center. I forgot his name. You just mentioned him earlier. Yeah, and he's super long. Like the guy is, he's like a tree down there in terms of height, length, and he just is a stopper inside. So I know one of Elad's biggest strengths is he has a killer crossover, and you're really fast at the basket. When you have to deal with a guy like Allswing down there who's clogging up the paint, it just makes things a lot more complicated. So I know you guys have been scoring a lot of points. That's A, and B is Pacey Jacoby is Link's best scorer, which allows Wasser most of the game when you were playing, especially in the second half, you guys were just straight doubling him every single time. And Wasser had to shoot a lot of very poor shots. It's the reason why he missed a lot of his shots. But with a guy like Pacey there, it's much harder to double Wasser because Pacey cooks one-on-one, and especially if he's left open, he's really a killer. So that was my perspective. I do hear where you guys are coming from.
Fair point.
I still would say
The real answer is we got to see both teams at full strength, and
That's true.
I
yeah.
think the default. Yeah, and I think there's. I know you guys won the game, but maybe the default is to keep the previous champion in the 1 seed until there's a decisive victory. Maybe you guys would call this a decisive victory, but
I wouldn't.
right,
I wouldn't at all.
You wouldn't.
At all.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
until
think we
there's a
played pretty. I think we played pretty horrible.
I
in the
mean,
game.
I told them after the game, I said, listen, if we had to be honest, we had a sort of like a game plan that we didn't really stick to in the first half. I think if we did, it would have been a 50 ball. We would have 50 ball.
I mean, it's not an excuse. But,
It's not.
Like
But-
Avi, I think you said in your last podcast or one of your last podcasts, you're like, it's not an excuse to say like we underestimated the team or whatever. But like to a certain degree, we definitely did. Like we came into the game, I guess they knew that we were good. They knew the hype around us, so we expected to, I guess, put on a good performance. They honestly like I said, no excuse to our team, but we didn't know who was good on that team. Like he definitely surprised us in the beginning. That kid Wasser, and he's very good. Even during the game, he had a nice move on one of my teammates. He made an and one, and even on the free throw line during the game, I gave him a high five. I think you even recorded that, Avi. So I give credit when credit's due for sure. But once we figured out he was the man, I think we had the proper game plan. George guarded him pretty well, and George is our big man, guarding him on the perimeter.
Not even our best defender.
So once we have Lior playing the perimeter and George playing down low, I think we're going to be good with that.
And to talk about your point, Avi, really quickly, about how you said that you think All Swing is going to be it's going to be tough to score on him down low.
I like how you said he's the best big man in the league, Avi. I like how you said that.
Yeah, I think George's going to take that a little bit personal.
It fuels us up.
I would love for him too, but All Swing's been playing with this, literally playing with this food all fall league, all of last season, and the one game he played in this season, there's really nobody that comes even close. I know there's a couple of guys. There's this one guy, Jonathan Baez, who apparently is going to be playing full time now. He's an Israeli pro. He's not in your guys' division. He's in Link's division. He's apparently a truck. There's another guy on under 5'10", Pipe Doctor is a big dude as well. Matti Olsen, another guy. But all these guys, they're big, they're strong, but Ari also is a different breed. So, yeah, I would love to. Let him take it personally, and hopefully you guys meet up in week 8. Obviously, if both you guys get the 1 seed, as we do anticipate, you guys will play each other in the seeding in week 8. And if not week 8, or even, in addition to week 8, hopefully the championship, I think would be fantastic. Before we move on, Dave, which I'm ready to move on in a second, a good point that you guys did make, Netanel and Elad, is that, we haven't yet seen Wasser, play through a double team the whole game. And, Wasser claims, and I spoke to him after the game, that if he had guys like Jacoby and Allswing there, it would just be barbecue chicken. He got doubled, he'll get it out, and they'll score almost every single time. So let's see how that works.
Totally fine.
I have to disagree with you, Avi. Yeah. I have to disagree with you on that. Wasser's a great player. Listen, again, I don't want to take anything away from him. He's an absolutely fantastic player. He has a crazy shot. I mean, he has the dribble moves. He has everything. But he has one, I don't want to say weakness, but he has something that we can exploit very easily. And that is that he's a little bit loose with the basketball when he's pressured. And that was something that I mentioned to Elad during the game. I mentioned it to the whole team during the game. And you could see that it worked, because when we were doing it, he turned the ball over close to 3-4 times in a row. And we got up by 10, 15 points.
That is true. That's how you guys pulled away at the end of that game.
Exactly. And then once we got away from it, they started coming back a little bit.
I mean, in the first half, when they went on their runner, they started off strong. Like, we were down, I think, 14 or 15 at one point in the first half. And then the second half, later in that half, we were up by 15. So that's like a 30-point turnaround. If we played for real, so to say, the whole game, or we were locked in the whole game.
So, Elad, based on what you saw, who should be the number 1 in the power
ranking? Based off our performance from that game?
Based on
what I think my team could do against them. Definitely taking.
No, based on what the world saw.
Based on what they saw, I mean, back to the point as to why I even brought up Avi Chulbayev, Rabbi Avi, is because he told me when I went to his program a couple days ago, he's like, I seen on the status and I seen how everyone's talking, it's making it seem like Wasser had a really good game and you had a bad game. That's how it's that's how it sounds. And then he said it, but when you look at the stats, it's basically even.
And Wasser only had one more point. Let's not forget that. He had one more point. He had close to 10 more shots.
I think I took 15 or 20 shots the whole game. I didn't shoot that much. I didn't really force any shots.
I want to come back to that, but let's shift gears for a minute because I have some other stuff I want to get to. So, Netanel, I understand you met Mike Doob at the game, right?
I did, yeah. I had a nice conversation with him.
That was week 1. Oh, that was week 1. Okay, can you tell us about the experience?
Meeting him?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I was just watching the game. It was halftime. I was just chilling, And then Avi sort of did a walk by and said, I want to introduce you to someone. And then Mike Dude came out of nowhere. We had a little nice chat. He's a great guy. Seems like a really genuine person with a good heart. He gave me his card. He said, listen, you seem like a a nice person that would like to help you out. He wanted to get me some tickets to some sports event or something like that. So he gave me his card. He said, contact me whenever. I messaged him after the game, after we came back. I just said, hey, this is my number. I wanted to just text you and let you know I appreciate you coming up to me and giving me your card and all that. And we had a nice little back and forth for a couple minutes. And then, yeah, but it was really nice for him to come up, and introduce himself.
He looked happy to want to get
did.
him tickets, to want to help him out. He was saying, don't feel shy to ask, please. Like, I want to give you tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
It was definitely very kind of him.
Very kind.
Yeah, Natal, can you share more with our audience what that was about? Avi told me that you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I don't know too much about that, but I think our audience would very much like to hear, and I think a lot of people would be inspired that you're able to take such an active role in what's going on with Elad, even though you have your own limitations.
Yeah, I don't think of it as a limitation. I think of it as just sort of my world, and it is what it is. But if you have any specific question, I'll be more than happy to answer it.
Oh, I'd like you to tell. Avi shared with me that you were comfortable talking about whatever it is that you struggle with. I actually don't know. I didn't have that much information, but I was curious. I know you're in a wheelchair. I don't know anything.
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. It was a whole lot, since I was born. So it wasn't something that I had to get used to. It just, it is what it is. But I don't think it doesn't stop me to do anything, especially bothering this guy. It's very easy to do.
Yeah, definitely. So Mike Mike is involved, I guess, in giving out tickets. I don't know.
Yeah, he runs a charity called Sharing Seats. Yes. He showed me his charity and everything, and like I said, we had a really good conversation.
He said it's for kids with like special needs and kids that have certain disabilities and stuff.
Also, I heard that was also for adults. It's not only for kids.
Yeah, it is. Big time.
A lot 18. He's not a kid.
a lot of military military people will come back from the military or injured or stuff like that. I think he just sent a bunch of them a few weeks ago to, I think it was a football game or basketball game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was a Raptors game. I could be wrong, but
yeah, no, I think you're right.
Yeah, but no, like I said, we had a great conversation. He seems like a very genuine and kind person, and I hope that we get to talk soon in the future, and it seems like we're gonna have a good conversations going forward.
Did you take him up on the tickets yet? What happened? Where are we holding with the tickets? Come on, that's what matters.
I think he might be a little shy to ask. I don't know.
Nah, you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
I'm telling him, I'm like, I tell him, I'm like, you can tell he's gonna be happy.
We had him on the when we had him on the podcast. I don't know if you saw the episode. We actually had him on our podcast. He's like it's his life's calling right now to help anybody in any way. Like you would put it this way, you would make his day beyond if you message him, hey, I want to go to X game, whatever it is, or let's talk about it. Like, don't feel like it's a bother to him. Like, he's gonna love it. So definitely should get on it.
All right, sounds good. I'll message him. I messaged him Friday. He asked for some stuff to for the information. I haven't gotten back to him yet, but I gotta do that.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
So living with that kind of disability, you don't see it as a limitation, though. I think, tell us more about it. I think a lot of people are interested and also find it inspirational to hear these kinds of things. Maybe you don't realize that because it's just a daily part of your life. But,
yeah, I started to realize it probably.
It's not for everybody. Yeah.
I started to realize it, I guess, about 6 months ago. There was this moment where I went to, me and my dad were going to the bank, and we stopped by our synagogue, the Georgian synagogue here on Yellowstone, and we were praying mincha. And as I was there, some random rabbi came up to me and just was like, "Hi, how are you? I want to shake your hand." I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Is this your father?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then he came up to me, had a good discussion and everything. But after that was where I sort of realized that, me just doing my everyday thing sort of, gives people a little extra boost somehow. I don't really understand it. I don't think I ever will. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's not something that I can comprehend, but it is what it is. And like I said before, it doesn't bother me from doing anything that I wanted to do. And yeah, anything that I did want to do was just something that I had to do it. And if I didn't want to do it, oh well.
He definitely keeps busy with it. He's at home, always looking at his charts, looking at his stocks, trading, whatever he's doing. He reads a lot. He's a smart kid.
Elad, why do you think it gives people a boost to hear about it?
I mean, because obviously not everyone is like the way he is. I'd say he also has a little brother that has in a similar situation, but he's a little Netanel is a little more independent than his younger brother. But yeah, they have two brothers. Him and his little brother are like that. So it's been something obviously we're family. We live right next to each other. I've been around it my whole life, so I've been kind of just used to being around them, even though it might be a little bit different. But like he said, he doesn't look at it as any different. I don't either because he's my cousin. I don't look at it any weird way, obviously, or anything like that. We've been used to it since we were kids.
We grew up, being together pretty much almost every day when we were 5, 6, 7. So when you grow up like that, you don't really get to understand the difference how someone who's not used to it would.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. I think I need to, I'm a psychologist actually. So
very
I'm
nice.
I'm sure you guys can now tell.
so I'm like curious, I get very curious about the experiences of individual people. So I'm trying to think about this particular, thing we're describing. I like the way you put it about like it gives a boost to people to see people who have certain kinds of struggles. I'm not exactly sure why, and it sounds like you're not either. So I need to think about it a little bit more and get back to you.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
definitely
next
not.
time. Yeah, maybe next time you're on the podcast, we can talk about it more.
Definitely.
So, are there any sports that you participate in?
Me? No, I'm just a fan of watching. I like to watch. I like to.
He's into every sport. Like he knows a lot about football, baseball. I don't know. I don't even know about all these sports.
I don't know. I don't know anything about baseball.
I'm just into basketball. He knows about everything else.
I'm just a fan of the
No,
sport.
the whole other side to things right now we're knee deep into HSL basketball is actually HSL softball. So I hope we don't bore you too much, Nathaniel, from the months of March, April through September because we're HSL's knee deep. We have a 15, 16 team softball league ready to go starting March 9th. So hopefully we don't bore you too much with these podcasts during the spring and summer.
I messaged you, I think, when I asked Elad for your number after the first game, and I wanted to just tell you, I think what you're doing is great. You're helping the community.
I appreciated that a lot.
It's great, especially since I saw you do stuff with young kids also. I'm sure that gives them a big confidence boost and it helps them, gain some sort of happiness,
life experience.
Yeah, that's on that point, I really appreciate it, Tano. So I appreciate the comment with that. A big thing we do, which I take a lot of pride in, which isn't really common, and we don't name other sports leagues on this podcast for multiple reasons, good and bad. But one of the things that we very much focus on, which really isn't focused on much, especially in the Jewish sports league world, is this multi-sport training program that we run. These kids, even up to second, third grade, some of them, like, they don't know what the heck they're doing. So, like, to throw them onto a basketball court or a football field or a baseball field, like, they just look lost. So having, like, legit coaches and trainers, like, A, instilling skills, but B, and more importantly, is building their confidence and making them feel good about the sport. It helps and goes such a long way to help them not only with their skills, but with their confidence, which will then automatically enhance their skills. So, I'm very happy we're able to do that.
Yeah, and like I said, it's great for the community. It's great.
1,000%.
So, curious, Elad, I guess you've played in a number of leagues, and Netanel, feel free to chime in also. What critiques do you have of HSL? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? What can we do to improve?
Well, it's only been 2 games so far, but I like how other leagues I've been at, I think they only take like points down. I like how this league also does other stats like rebounds and assists. I think that's definitely a plus. I like how you guys do the player of the week. I still have my $50 gift card that I haven't used yet.
Yeah, you better go. The guy was very adamant about putting an expiration on there. I think it expires like in May time or something. So you better go before it expires.
You gotta go.
It's on the card.
Something that I would add though is that I don't know. Me personally, I think that the reffing would be a lot better if there was a third ref. I think it's very hard to ref with 2 refs, because having that extra ref, it helps you see the court a lot better. It helps the refs focus on, more detailed aspects of the game instead of more broadening it.
The NBA has 3 refs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
I don't
the
think
role
it's-
for each ref in the NBA?
What was that?
What was the what?
What's the role in the? What's the basic breakdown in the NBA of what each ref is supposed to be doing?
I mean, there's 2 sideline refs, right?
I mean, I think every ref just has their own little
Yeah.
part of the court where they're surveying or watching, I guess.
Yeah. One of them's watching the side, one of them's watching from the back angle and from the
I don't think
front
it's
angle.
I don't think it's something too big of a deal to have a third ref, but I definitely would say we probably missed some foul calls on me
Well, the
a lot of
issue-
times
Yeah.
that I drive
the
in,
truth
but
The issue is
It happens.
It's all about cost. It's basketball happens to be extremely expensive to run if you compare it to softball because you have three personnel because you've got the scorekeeper, you've got 2 refs, you have to rent an indoor facility, and
Right.
you only have at most you have like 16 people participating in a game, right? Just about like it's like 5 to 8 on each squad.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah, softball, you have 1 hired hand for upwards of 20 people, plus outdoor facilities are much cheaper.
Right.
So it's really like, yeah, I agree, and we've gotten plenty of complaints about the refs. Not that there's a problem with the refs, just like people want to really well officiate a game, and there's just so much going on the court.
It
But,
is.
I didn't used to run leagues. Now that I'm involved in running leagues, like in softball, also believe it or not, there's so much happening that a ref has to keep track of.
probably
In
yeah.
basketball, where it's nonstop back and forth, at least in baseball.
And by the way, another
there's
thing,
a
Dave, sorry to
reset
cut you
every-
off.
Yeah.
Another thing also is that we also have our refs keeping the scoreboard right now. We have
Oh,
Jared,
right.
he's doing the scoreboard, which, by the way, I genuinely think it impacts his ability because he's constantly, looking over, stopping the clock, changing the score. Like, it's and now we would have to hire someone else again to do the scoreboard. So between the scorekeeper and if we'd have to hire someone else to do the scoreboard,
Well,
like, I would say that.
Netanel's rich from his day trading. Maybe he could keep track of the scoreboard pro
Who
bono.
kno- One day, maybe I'll be a sponsor of a team. Who knows?
He's
Who
getting
knows?
there. He's getting there.
Anyway, it's really good to have you guys on. I know Avi's got to jump in a couple of minutes. Do we have any closing thoughts?
I'd like to mention something. I would like to say that I know their center said something that was a bit bizarre. Their
did he
center
say?
said something about how
Who said something?
their center, Link center,
Also, the Huffman.
yeah, he said something that was, I think, just straight up nonsense. He said that they talk a lot of smack for a team that's mid. That's funny. It's funny.
Wait, Avi, who's the center on their team? Alswing wasn't there.
Also,
No,
no, that's
Alswing was the one that
also
said that.
made a comment on the WhatsApp. He responded to one of the statuses saying that they're
Oh,
mid.
he did? Oh, I missed
Yeah.
that.
And then we had someone else say that they wanted to put 1,500 on a spread to beat us by 11.
My boy Steinbucks, baby.
I-
Check him out on Instagram.
I
Yoni
will-
Steinman.
Tell them we'll take him up on that offer. any
We
day of the
will
week.
happily take him up on that offer, happily. But another thing that I told you, I told you this, Avi. I told you, number one, I have no problem saying it here. It's free money. We will happily take their money, happily. You want to give it to us? By all means, we'll take it. Another thing that I like to say is that, listen, to whoever's not going to be playing in the game, I think everybody should come to this game because this game's going to be a movie. It's going to be an absolute movie. I told you, I messaged
Which game? Which game?
the next time that
When
they
they play
play
with.
together.
You might not meet again.
It's going to happen. I have a feeling it's
Let's
going
get
to
him the
happen.
championship, maybe. Even if it's not.
I have a big
Yeah.
feeling it's going to happen. And if I'm
I
being
hope
honest,
so. I hope so.
we want it to happen. We want it to. We're not.
I think we all want it to happen. To be honest,
with
and
both
even if it doesn't
teams
happen,
fully there, with both teams with their full roster there.
fully healthy, fully there. Yep.
I agree.
Okay,
We have
maybe.
two shots. We have two shots. We have 2 shots to happen during regular season. Either week 8, which again, if both teams live up to the hype of the season, which Wasser's saying, oh, they're going to be missing guys again going forward. But if both teams end up winning out going forward, which I guess according to my projections they should, they're going to both get the 1 seed and going to be playing each other week 8 before we even get to the playoffs. So. There'll be a couple extra juices flowing for that game. Right now, Link's actually 1-1 because they lost to Olam Realty. So if Link somehow loses another game, there's a good chance they don't get the 1 seed. But if Link does win out, then we hopefully
Avi, do
we'll
you
see
think
Link and
Link is
Olam.
hungry for the 1 seed, or they don't care?
Well, I'll tell you what, they're actually hungry because they get Wall Street Grill if they get the 1 seed.
They
They're
get Wall
definitely
Street
hungry
Grill.
for the 1 seed.
Oh, one last question before we bounce. Elad and Netanel, your team gets, if you win the division, you get custom hoodies. Would you prefer the Wall Street Grill or the custom hoodies?
Me personally, I think my team would prefer that Wall Street Grill.
Oh, come on. but a hoodie like a diamond is forever. Wall Street Grill.
That is true.
Next winter, it's going to be 10 degrees outside and I say, oh, thank God for my HSL hoodie. I think a lot of people in your division are like, what is this crap? Why didn't we get the Wall Street Grill incentive?
Yeah, I said the same thing too. I said, listen, Wall Street Grill will satisfy you temporarily, but the hoodie will come with the clutch in 5 years from now. You never know.
Avi, maybe we have to really make the hoodie special so people feel good about it.
No, he is. Yankee's been telling me that he's going to customize it big time. He's going to make it really cool, 3D, sponsor on there, name on there. He said that's going to be really cool.
But could every player put their own thing up? Yeah,
what does the champion win? What does the champion team win?
We're working on it.
Oh, okay.
No, that's going to be we're working on for the championship game. We envision, a lot. Again, obviously you have to figure a lot out, but we're envisioning, I don't know, like skills competition, 3-point shootout, like either doing all that at halftime or before the game with different prizes. Like we want to really make it. We want to make it a.
Avi's very good at hype. So, like the championship last season, we had somebody, Ellie Dax, who's on the 3 seed, the 3 ranking, Rides to Fly. He's also a professional singer.
3 Rides to Fly.
Anthem. We did a skills competition where people, you had to get the ball in from the free throw, the 3-point in the half court in like 30 seconds, and the first to get it would get a free Mets ticket. So we need sponsorships, but we'd like to do like a big event for the championship. Like a 3-hour event kind of thing, where there are.
I saw Smash House just sponsored JSL's basketball championship the other night, so I'm gonna message them and tell them you do it for them, you got to do it for HSL as well.
What did they sponsor to the winner? Did they sponsor something for the winner?
No, they sponsored food for the event for the game.
Wow.
Oh wow.
You guys are
now
big. It's good.
now
It's good,
because
exactly.
Smash House. See, Smash House, the official sponsor of HSL Youth Caps. Smash House.
All right, guys, I got to jump now myself. Netanel, Elad, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having
having
us.
us.
We appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
Good
you.
luck.
We'll see you after the break. February 2nd.
Yeah, Elad, maybe
Sounds
practice a little over the break, and you could get from a mid-team to a top-tier team.
We'll take it.
Don't worry, we're gonna be showing who's only mid-team.
You gotta come to the game, David. Come to one of the games.
Emir Tashem, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'll be there soon.
You can see it for
Sounds
yourself.
good. You're gonna
Thank
see
you,
what the
guys.
hype's about. You're gonna see what the hype's about.
Take care, guys.
All right, take care, guys.